Hey everyone, how's it going? Nathan here. So over the past summer, probably midway through, I ended up actually going to the Apple store and just looking around, testing things out. And I finally bit the bullet and I got a brand new Apple Watch. I ended up getting the SE, and it's a huge upgrade. Before this, I had the Apple Watch Series 2 for about a little over 3 years now. And it was just super outdated. Anytime I wanted to click on an application or start a workout, it took it seconds to register, and it was just really slow and kind of more of a pain than a joy to use. Now after about using this for a couple months, I'm ready to give a proper review on it and my thoughts as to whether or not you should get the SE, the Series 6, or at the time I'm making this video, if you just hold off for the Apple event, which I'm sure they're going to be announcing either the Series 7 or a new updated SE. Before I get into that, if you're new here and you like the content I'm making, I got plenty more that I'm planning on starting. And so if you could just subscribe, drop a like, and comment. I like to interact with people. That'd be much appreciated. So here's my review of the Apple Watch SE. So the three main categories I want to go over when talking about the SE are the design, the display, and the functionality. And the functionality is going to kind of coexist with the Apple ecosystem, the different applications you can use with it, and just the overall enjoyment of the watch. So the specific Apple Watch that I ended up picking up is the 44mm space gray Apple Watch SE. And to quickly run through some of the design specifications, it has a height of 44mm, a width of 38mm, and a depth of 10.7mm, which comes in weighing at just about 36.2 grams. And the screen, now with the new updated design, the screen also has rounded corners instead of squared off. And going with this more square, non-traditional watch style, I think it really helped Apple kind of set up the monopoly it has on the smartwatch industry, because you get a lot more real estate than just a circle, which would cut off a lot of corners and valuable information that you can have, compared to smartwatches such as Garmin or Samsung. And I'm really glad that they went this route with the Series 6 and SE as well. So just running through all the different buttons and everything on the Apple Watch SE, on the side of it, there's a digital crown or home button, and there's also a side button. So pressing down the digital crown will bring up the app library where you can swipe around to find the desired app you're looking for. Scrolling the wheel will take you into an app, and when you're already in one, it acts as a scroll wheel on a mouse to navigate through. When you scroll, there is a haptic feedback that you can feel, and it's actually very satisfying to use. I love using the scroll wheel. Double pressing the digital crown will pull up most recent apps for quick access, and pressing and holding down this button will pull up Siri. You can also call up Siri by just saying, "Hey." Pressing the side button will bring up your dock where you can pre-save most commonly used apps for quick access. Double clicking the side button will pull up any credit cards you have saved to your smartwatch, and pressing and holding the side button will bring up an emergency call or the option to power it off. There is also a mic in between the two buttons, and on the other side there are speakers with air vents. The speakers are good for what this device is and how big it is. People are audible and you can hear them, but the device is very small, so it's not anything extraordinary. On the back, there's an updated optical heart sensor made of ceramic and sapphire crystal. This sensor has always been very accurate for me, as for what I can tell. The main thing I use this for is for when I work out. I always track my workouts, and the calorie counting seems to be consistent. So I don't know if it's accurate, but as long as it's consistent, that's good enough for me. I'm able to judge how intense my workouts are through this, and I love the feature. On the back, there are also two band release buttons on the top and bottom. To use these, you press and hold them down, and while you're holding it down, you can slide out the wristband. It takes a little getting used to, and I was kind of bad at it when I first got the Apple Watch, but you get used to it. You get used to how you're supposed to hold it down and push afterwards. The internals of the Apple Watch SE include the S5 dual-core processor and the W3 chip, which together Apple claims with a result of an 18-hour battery life. And I'm not one who personally sleeps with my Apple Watch. I wish the battery life was good enough for that, but after a long day of use, my Apple Watch tends to be around 30 to 40% left charged, and I could sleep with it with that much battery, but then in the morning I'd have to charge it and it takes a little longer than I would like it to. So I just always charge my watch at night, but I never have a problem with this thing dying. The Apple Watch SE also has Bluetooth 5.0, so it gets great connection with your iPhone. Whenever I'm at the gym and like I'll leave my phone like at a bench so no one steals it while I'm going to like go to the bathroom or get water, my Apple Watch like never loses connection with the phone. I'm always able to like change the song or scroll up on the digital crown to increase the volume or lower it. And you have to go pretty far away from your phone before you lose connection with it. The SE also comes with 32 gigabytes of internal storage, which you can use to download music and pre-save it on there. So if you go for a run, you have some music in your storage and you can listen to that through your watch, which is really cool. I don't do that because I don't really run. And if I ever run on the treadmill, like I have my phone there with me. Apple barely cut corners with this watch. It also includes an always-on altimeter, accelerometer, gyroscope, and is water resistant up to 50 meters. So this watch is perfectly fine to shower with. I actually take it in the shower every day because going to the gym all the time, I'm sweating in it. I like to kind of like clean it in the shower. Perfectly fine. You can go swimming with this. You can take it in the ocean if you want, but I don't really like recommend that. If you do, like clean it when you get home because that can like do some wear and tear on it. You don't want sand getting in the watch band. It's got great water resistant. I've never had a problem with it not working. So coming from the older design on the Series 2 with the slightly smaller screen and the squared off corners, upgrading to this, the display is amazing. I love it. The Apple Watch SE has a Retina LTPO OLED display. With the 44 millimeter size, it has 977 square millimeters of display area with 368 by 448 pixels per inch. The screen also can get up to a max brightness of 1000 nits, and out in mid-daylight when I'm like walking across campus, if I ever check my watch, I can always see everything on it. The 1000 nits is perfectly fine for day-to-day use, and I don't ever see a problem with it. So the next category I want to go over is functionality. So I essentially use my Apple Watch for three main things: checking notifications, tracking my workouts, and looking at just data throughout the day, whether it be the temperature outside, the UV index, notification I could have gotten, the date, time, stuff like that. The watch just fits into the Apple ecosystem. It's so seamless with my phone and my iPad. Anytime I get a text message through my phone or any other notification from an app, your Apple Watch will slightly vibrate, letting you know you have one. And there have been so many times where it's just been more convenient, whether I'm holding something or I'm walking across campus and my phone's in my pocket, for me to just raise my wrist, check the notification. And what I like to do is like I don't ever really respond on this. If it's important enough, I'll take out my phone and then respond. But it's just good to know what types of notifications you're getting. And that's honestly like one of my favorite things about it, is just being more informed on what's going on with my phone without actually being on my phone. Just to name a few scenarios where having the Apple Watch has been really beneficial for me. While I'm in the shower, I usually leave my phone outside playing music. And if I ever get a notification or a call, I just check my watch and see what it is, and I don't have to like run out to see who's calling me. And another thing with me playing music that I love about the Apple Watch is while I'm in there, I'm able to turn up or down the volume with just a scroll wheel, so I don't have to go out, click the side buttons to change the volume on my speaker. Also, while I'm in class and being an engineer, I have a lot of like very strict professors. A lot of them are strict with technology and having your phone out, stuff like that. I'm sure a lot of you do as well. Just getting a notification and just being able to quickly like look at my watch and not being on my phone and taking that risk of getting called out in the middle of class, because that's one of the worst things that can happen to you. It's just super convenient, and I do it all the time. So my final verdict for the Apple Watch SE, starting at $279 for the 40 millimeter and $309 for the 44 millimeter, this has got to be the go-to for most people. There's no point in paying an extra $150 to get the 6 when you essentially get every feature in here minus 2, and those 2 features are an always-on display, which really doesn't matter unless you like the aesthetic of it when it's down by your side. But anytime you go to check your watch, raise your hand, the screen will turn on. So it's almost like it's always on anyway. I don't ever have to like raise my hand and tap the home screen or click the home button. It just does that for you, like with the gyroscope and the accelerometer inside of it. It's able to track that. And the other thing you're losing out on is the blood oxygen sensor in the Series 6, which for most people, you really don't need that unless you're a little older in age and you have to track that. Even with COVID, I feel like for like the large majority of the population, you really don't need those stats unless your doctor says so. Then go for it, get the Series 6. But the Apple Watch Series 6 starts at $399 for the 40 millimeter and $449 for the 44 millimeter. And going from the SE to the Series 6, that's like $150 that you're making up just for the always-on display, like a slightly better processor, but this is like perfectly fine for every day-to-day use activities, and the blood oxygen sensor. If you really don't need those, then save the $150 and get 3 watch bands. That's what you can get with it from Apple. You can get 3 different color silicone bands. You can get just different other things there to really spice up your style. Then you get a leather band for like $70 or $80, or even Amazon. Just get cheapo, off-brand bands, and it's just gonna like make your watch more fun, more accessible, and just better overall bang for your buck. So I highly recommend the Apple Watch SE for anyone on the market, for either to get into the Apple Watch game or for an upgrade. If you're coming from a 4 or a 5, I don't think there's any need for you to upgrade. Everything's kind of similar and there's just minimal changes in between. But if you're coming from a 1, 2, or 3, then I definitely say bite the bullet and go for it. At the time making this video, the Apple event should be coming up soon where they're going to announce the Series 7, I'm assuming. This is just me going out on a limb here. And or a new updated SE. So you might want to just wait 1 more month and then go for it, just to see like what comes out. Maybe there's going to be some price changes on the SE or the Series 6. But if you need one right now, I say go for it. Go get the SE. It has everything you need for a reasonable price, and I'm a huge fan of it and I love it. So thank you for watching. That was my review of the Apple Watch SE. If you got something out of it, please subscribe, drop a like, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.